All right, guys, we are back for another live episode of Muscle Discord Monday night, every Monday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. Again, guys, welcome back to the show. Phil, the Jamaican Tank, play hard. Welcome back, brother.
Yep.
We got Ron Harris from Ron Harris Muscle back on the show. Thank you for coming on.
What's up, guys?
What's up? All right, guys. So, lots to talk about. It's the season is just kind of going to start picking up. We got the Detroit Pro. I think it's 2 weeks. It's coming up.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
And then we got the Pittsburgh Pro. That's turning out to be. We'll talk about that a little bit. I saw Chryso's update. He looks pretty freaky. So he's coming. He's coming to play. So we'll get into that, and yeah, we'll get lots of different topics here. So first things first, I want to talk about. This was kind of missed because I just saw another channel talk about Bob's response to the Arnold and him not being the MC. And it was pretty, like, I completely missed it. And someone's like, hey, man, did you see this? I'm like, oh, man, I got to jump on this. So I jumped on it and talked about Bob's kind of response to him not being the MC at the Arnold Classic anymore. Because last year, he was the MC. And so people noticed he wasn't there. And then I guess we saw the post from Brian Powers, his statement saying it's unfortunate that Bob had to use his platform to, make these statements which is unprofessional and uncalled for. So, and inaccurate is what Brian Powers was saying. So I was like, okay, this should be a story that's covered. So I covered it. So I guess let me just share my screen here and we'll go into what Brian Powers said, just so we can give you guys a little recap of what's going on there. Get it here. Buys and tries. There it is. So we share this. And we'll get Ron's and Phil's reaction to this as well. Let me change this. We'll go here. There we go. All right. Okay, so Bob made a statement saying that the production crew and the producer at the Arnold was incompetent. It was the worst run show he's ever been a part of, which is a pretty bold statement to make. And then that's why and then first off, when I saw this from Brian Powers, I was like, where did this come from? Why is he saying this? So I had to backtrack and watch Bob's show and then saw that he said it right at the beginning of his show, calling out, the Arnold, right? And so you see it's here, Brian says it's unfortunate that Bob chose to use his platform to criticize the production team. While his remarks are both inaccurate and unprofessional, I do want to recognize Bob's past contributions, blah, 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 to Arnold Classic. So did you guys see Bob's kind of statement that he made on his show?
I had him on my channel a few days ago, and
Yeah.
I saw this post, and I had just seen it. I had Bob explain the whole thing to me, his side of it, anyway. At any rate.
So let me.
Yeah, I mean,
let me see. I think
they had a lot of dead time on stage that he had no idea how to fill.
Yeah.
He was saying it was run poorly and inefficiently, and I didn't go to this Arnold, but I've been to probably about 20 Arnold Classics at least, and I thought they were pretty well run, all of them. It's a lot of moving parts on these things.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to play this, see if this works now. I fixed the browser. Hopefully this works. If you can hear the volume, let me know. Someone else in the bodybuilding industry, a professional in this industry, has to reply to stupid comments that Bob Cicherillo is play here in a second. Just give it a second. On his show. He's openly saying that the production crew at the Arnold Classic Ohio and UK last year were shit, and that the promoter is shit.
When I tell you the level of incompetence, I'm not mincing words when I say this was probably the worst produced show I've ever been a part of.
This is very petty. Yeah, so I kind of go on with my rant there. But yeah, so that's bold. That's a huge statement to make, right? You're the MC for the Mr. Olympia. There's some professionalism you need to have, but let's just see what happened. Why would Bob make this type of reaction? There's two sides to the story. So I'm going to play this here, and then we'll get your reaction on seeing if this was uncalled for by Arnold.
The key thing is that we pack the house, that everyone has a good time. And the other thing that I liked about the competition was the way you moved forward. I mean, there was not one single second this was a lag time. Because I always, for years and years and years, I always was complaining the day after the competition. I said, if you edit this show down, you can edit it down to an hour and a half, 2 hours. Why are we sitting there for 3.5 hours? Because of stupid talking with the MC. I said, they make up dialogue. And then all of a sudden now we have an MC that doesn't do that. We go right into it. We see right away the most muscular man in the world on stage, and bang, we go into it, and we go through the whole thing. And then the guys get introduced. The guys, you know their name, you know their history, where they're coming from, end of story. I don't want to hear more. Don't give me no drama. Don't give me, he did this, and then yesterday did this, and 2 days ago he did it. Fuck, this is the bullshit, okay? Wow. Just let me, because I believe there's a reason why movies are 2 hours, hour and a half, hour 45 minutes, sometimes 2 hours and 15 minutes, or if you see a Jim Cameron movie, sometimes 2.5 hours, 3. But I mean, there's a reason why they're limited and not 4 hours. Because people don't have the patience to sit there 4 hours, no matter how good it is. And I don't want to see a bodybuilding show that is longer. At 9:30, it has to be over. If you start at 7, at 9:30, it has to be over. End of story. That's what I demand every single year. Sometimes we go a little bit over, but that is the goal, not 3.5 hours. It's all bogus, and we don't need to do it.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
So that's Arnold's. That's why Bob, a year later, came out, because he saw Arnold make this dig at him, I guess, about the MC taking too long and rambling on and dragging the show on for too long, which is alluding to Bob, because Bob was the previous MC. And he was saying this for years and years. It was bad. It was too long. And so now I know why Bob chose to come out and publicly say that, because Arnold did. So what's your take on this kind of interaction between the Olympia team and now the Arnold's team? And you also did see that Arnold said during his speech on stage that, well, the Olympia is good, but the Arnold's better, or the Arnold's great. Another little dig. So that's why in my title I said, is there a feud between the Olympia and the Arnold? Because it seems like there's a lot of digs going back and forth. I like your take on it, you guys. Whoever wants to go first.
Phil, you go first, Phil.
Of course, I'll go first. My personal opinion, I don't think necessarily it's a dig. Just like when we were talking about, it's just excitement. It's some form of entertainment. Because if there was something really serious between the Olympia and the Arnold, we won't still have Steve Weinberger and Tyler and these guys still at the Arnold. So I just think it's for entertainment. I don't think it's anything more than that. The Bob thing, listen, Bob has his opinion. Of course, everybody has their opinion when they lose their job, because that's how I see it. I think that he wasn't meeting the requirements that the production team, as well as Arnold. I mean, it's Arnold's show, so of course, just like all the promoters in all these regional shows, they tell Bob how they wanted to run. Bob can't tell them how they wanted to run. Like Tim Gardner and some other big promoters. I mean, they're going to say, hey, listen, we want this to go this way and so on. So he didn't follow the direction. He did it a couple of years. And like I said, he did 2 of the Arnolds last year. So he's claiming he decided he didn't want to come back. Me personally, I don't think that was the case. I just think that he was not welcome to come back. And it's fine. But I think it may have bothered him. Listen, if Arnold wants to speak and not necessarily say the person's name, which he didn't, and of course Bob knew it was him, because come on, like for example, there was an incident here at my housing community gym. A gentleman, he sweats so bad, it's like he takes a hose and water down the treadmill. And it's been going on for a while. So, I went to the office and, I told them a lot of women are feeling uncomfortable to get on these machines. It's a health hazard. So they put up a note on the window. Automatically, he loses his shit on the freaking maintenance guy. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If he believed it wasn't him, then it wouldn't have bothered him. You know what I'm saying? So nobody put no name on it. So this is the same type of example. You know what I mean? Arnold basically saying what he don't want a show to do, and he wanted it to be done by a certain time, and he don't want no craziness. You know, and Bob just said, well, that must be talking about me. So he didn't need to. I don't think Bob needed to make that video to make a point. They already, you know, their
Yeah.
ties have been
That's a
severed.
year
There was no
later.
need
Yeah,
for it, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So
yeah.
that's my only thing. Bob didn't need to make the video.
Yeah, the one thing I do want to point out, I don't really want to take sides in this, but Bob doesn't set the pace for these shows like the Olympia and the Arnold. He's got an earpiece in. The show director, the production team, they're in that earpiece telling him, okay, speed up, slow down, introduce this group, keep the audience busy for a minute. They're dictating the pace. Bob can't just sit there and blah 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 and gabba. They'll tell him, wrap it up, let's go. You know, they're not going to let him dictate the pace of a show that they want to get out people at a certain time. So I don't think, you know, Bob was ever, if he ever did that, they should have been the ones to tell him, let's go, speed it up. We don't need to hear all these anecdotes. As far as the feud between the Arnold and the Olympia, you know, Arnold's very competitive. I think we all know that. During the time when Joe Weider was still alive, and it's still Joe Weider's Mr. Olympia contest, he intentionally kept the prize money below that of the Olympia, which is why he used to give away things like the Hummer and the nice watch, Audemars Piguet. I don't even know how you say it. So, but now that Joe Weider's been gone for like 10 years or more, you know, the gloves are off, and it's battle. He wants to be the best show, the top show. The prize money keeps going up and up between the two, and you know, and he has an advantage as far as making a better viewing experience for a lot of the fans, because he can take away divisions, which he's taken away 4 divisions, I think, already. Limits the show. There's never more than 15 people in a given class because it's invite only. The Olympia, you got to sit there and watch 60, 70 figure or men's physique guys or classic guys. It's exhausting. It's, you know, you're there for hours and hours. We've been to Olympias where we've all been to these Olympias that didn't get out till like 1 a.m. I think one went till 2 a.m. But yeah, I mean, I think it's good for both shows, because if they keep raising the prize money and trying to up the ante and make their show, the production standards higher, it's just going to benefit everybody.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think Phil is taking any sides. I'm not taking any sides.
No.
I think we're, you know, and you as well. I think we're just, we see it happening out in public, and I think there is a rivalry, but I think that's good. That's good for the athletes, because it's like, remember the WCW versus the WWE, and it was Vince McMahon versus what's this guy's name in WCE? The fucking Bischoff.
Eric Bischoff. Yeah.
Yes, Eric Bischoff. He was the lead of the WCW, and they were going at it for ratings. And I'll pay this guy this much money. I'll pay this guy. I'll bring him over from WWE. Bring him over to WCW. We'll pay him. And they kept paying the athletes more and more and more. The athletes got bigger and bigger contracts. So that's kind of what I see happening between the Arnold and the Olympia, is that you have them fighting to try and attract, you know, them. Like, look, they got Derek to come over. They got Samson to come over from the Olympia and compete, when that normally doesn't happen because the prize money was increased. Right. So I think it's good to have a little feud. Who can put on a better show? Who can step up to production? I think right now the Arnold is in the lead with production. With the Expo is really outdoing the Olympia Expo with the strongman and everything. I don't know why they don't do a strongman or something at the Olympia. Step that up, you know, like get more involved with that Expo, because the Arnold Expo is massive compared to the Olympia. I mean, I would just have to say, from going to both, I don't know what you guys would say, but I just think there's some money left on the table there for the Olympia. So this is good for the athletes. Who will be the first to get to $1 million? I would probably say Arnold, because he's got the money to do it. I think because they make so much money off the Expo. The Expo is massive, right? They make that pays for everything pretty much. That fucking Expo. So that's why they can do the live stream for free. You know who's making more money is when whoever's doing that live stream for free.
Yeah.
And the numbers, you know how many people watch that live stream? 300,000 people watch that live stream.
Wow. How many watch the Olympia that you had to pay $80 for?
Probably not even a quarter of that. Probably not even close to that because they had to pay for it.
Free is the best. I love free.
Right. So it's like, exactly, you get sponsors to sponsor they did it the right way. So again, Olympia's missing out on that. So look how many people watch now from all around the world, 300,000 people. Right. So it's big numbers that they get. And I think the Olympia, that ESPN production, all the stuff that Brian said is a part of their production is huge. So yeah, I think the Olympia hopefully can step it up. Dan Solomon, you guys do a great job, but I think you can do even better. You can try and be on par with the Arnold because they are really doing a stellar job. Yes, they don't have 50 classes like the Olympia, like Ron said. Now, that's another thing. Should the Olympia be more on a invite basis?
They can't do that.
I know, but like,
they probably wish they could.
yeah.
Sure, judges, I mean, because now they have another. I think Fit Model is starting this year at the Olympia.
No, not this year. Oh, not this year. I think it's only on the NPC level. I think they're going to see how it does next year. The Fit Model is going to come into the Olympia.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they're doing it this year.
Good. I mean, it's 12 divisions. Oh,
12.
I mean,
12 divisions.
When they were talking about, when they had asked Steve Weinberger, if I'm correct, should they do like not really a pre, but like something before the Olympia to eliminate some of the competitors in these other divisions.
Yeah.
Down. Instead of having 60, eliminate down to possibly 20 or something like that. Yeah. And I mean, he was in agreement that's a good idea to do. Of course, you win a show, you win, you're in. So, because that's the philosophy, right? But if the Olympia is for the best of the best, I think that would be a good idea in the future. Nothing against all the other pros, to just see the best of the best. See the best of the best go against each other. Because, sometimes we as athletes, not all, the elite guys would jump in shows with other elite guys to see who's the best, to see how they're going to rank in the Olympia. But some of the other pros, they're going to pick a show that's not heavily lined up. You know what I'm saying? Just to make it to the Olympia.
Yes.
I say, why do that? Because when you do that, you're not going to do well in the Olympia if you're trying to sneak in a show just to qualify to make it there. So why not jump into these big shows that big names are in there and see if you can beat them to qualify for that? And I think a lot of our open shows is catered that way. We do have one or two big names in these shows, but some of the other classes, sometimes because they have so many, you can really pick a show. They're pretty much week back each week, and you can just jump in one and eventually make it to the Olympia. So in the future, that might be an idea to have the best of the best in the world, top 15, top 20, whatever, go in there and battle it out.
Yeah, I mean, I think, did we go over this before? That the amount of pro shows per division, and obviously open men is the fewest amount because the sanction fees are the highest. Okay. But you'll see so many regional NPC shows around the country where they'll tack on bikini and men's physique or bikini and classic physique. I won't name any shows. That's why we end up with, I think I was trying to count. I think there were 80 shows for classic guys to qualify this year. It was around the same amount for bikini. Figure had a lot too, but men's physique it's packed. They talked about a cut round. I just don't know if they have the time to do it. There's no easy answers. I mean, if there were, they would do it because fans don't. Yeah, look at that. If you click on some of these, like click on bikini, it takes you like 5 minutes just to scroll.
Oh, really? Okay.
All the bikini shows.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, you'll be counting all day, all night.
I didn't realize this was this much.
Yes. Now, few of them are masters, so they don't qualify for the Olympia, but the vast majority of them are Olympia qualifiers. Yeah, it keeps going and going. You're not even anywhere.
It's August.
Yeah, you got 4 more months to go there. Classic is the same. Men's physique is the same. That's why they end up with 60 to 70 people on stage. Look at that.
That's bikini. Let's just go to men's bodybuilding quick. Let's see how long it takes me.
That won't take as long.
Boom, done. Okay.
We were done.
Yeah, no,
Wow.
Ron's right. Between the sanction fees and then what you have to pay the open pros with the money going up,
Yep.
that's why it's less open shows, which makes sense. But they need in the future to lean towards other shows, cutting back on some of them. You know what I mean? But then again, that's gonna, the promoters now, this is how they make their money with these shows as well.
Yeah, I mean, you can't limit these shows. I mean, if a promoter calls up Pittsburgh and says, "Hey, I've been running this freaking, I don't know, some fictional show. I've been running this show for a few years. And I want to add a pro division this year. I want to do pro bikini and men's physique. And I don't know what the sanction fees are, but it's money in their pocket. Why are they going to say no? They say, no, we already have 65 bikini shows for the year. We can't have 66. They'll take as many as long as the promoter is reputable and, has a good business plan or whatever. They're not going to turn down another show.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, and that's one thing that one of the challenges the Olympia has is having so many classes. So it's like they're kind of stuck. Maybe this is a byproduct of what's happening now, of having so many classes, and so many pro shows that offer women's bikini and fitness or men's physique. It's this scale that's skewed so much towards bikini and men's physique versus bodybuilding. Fine, whatever, but then the show runs till 2 a.m. So either you need to start having the show start on a Thursday where you're at the expo and you're having bikini on there, or men's physique at the expo stage, and then Friday is men's open bodybuilding prejudging, and like just some of the bigger classic physique and stuff are on Friday and Saturday. To just break it up, why just make it a nice 3-4 day thing or something? Like why?
Or you look at the Olympics. They have an Olympic trial.
Like 5 weeks. It's like 2 weeks of the Olympia.
You know what I mean? The Olympics have Olympics trial. So necessarily everybody don't make it to the Olympics. The best of the best make it to the Olympics. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to keep that in eye. The bodybuilding, this is our Olympic. Then you look at how the Olympics do it. Not saying, of course, the money is totally different when it comes to the Olympics, but look how they have the Olympic trials to see who makes it into the big show. You know what I mean? Swimming, track, and all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Tony Barhone, IPB Pro. You could always make a tiered system for show wins based on the tier of the show. Maybe 3 small shows, 2 mid-tier, and one top-tier show win for divisions like men's physique. Yeah, I mean, having tiers within a division. Top tier, bottom tier.
Didn't we used to have something like that in the open though? Like when we were doing points?
Yes, we did. It was that long ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that makes sense.
Bring back the point system.
Yeah. But I mean, going back to what you said, Matt, about starting earlier, they also have the amateur Olympia they have to get through.
Yes. It's huge.
And the whole problem is it's very expensive to stay in Vegas for more than 2 or 3 days. No, I can't imagine it. There's a lot of fans that are going to want to be there from. If the way we're proposing it, you probably have to start judging for everything on like Tuesday. I just don't know how feasible.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, but maybe that's where the elimination round comes in, where you're doing the Thursday, and if you can get through Thursday and Friday, Saturday is the big show. But again, you're there for 3 days or whatever. It's expensive for the fans.
And then the peaking too. Like even if they make it, now they have to peak for Friday. Yeah, that's
hard. Yeah, it gets. Exactly. It's easier said than done when you're so I don't know. It's tough for the Olympia. If they could do it like the Arnold, they'd probably be doing a lot better in the sense of production and time. Be done in 3 hours.
They're spending a ton of money to get all these athletes to Vegas. Get them up for 4 or 5 days, and they got to give them per diem money for food. They're spending an astronomical amount of money on. It's over 300 people in the Olympia every year now, athletes.
That's just, I don't know how they pay for that, but
so the Arnold has a distinct advantage just with the sheer that they're a lot more selective, and that's the beauty of being an invite only show.
Yeah.
But you could also argue that the Olympia, everybody earned their way there, and the Arnold, you could point to a couple guys in line of like, why is he in the show? Why they invite him?
True.
Yeah. I'm trying to find Robbie's.
Oh, glad we're talking about this.
Yeah. Okay. So Robby Robinson.
Oh boy.
Okay. Yeah. Ron's kind of on top of it. He made a video about it. So kind of Ron, just you take the lead, and I'm find his page because I'm gonna just bring
Okay,
that
so
up.
Saturday we all got trolled.
Yeah.
I saw Lee Haney's post first on Instagram, you know, with a heavy heart, this and that. And I'm like, oh no, this come from Lee Haney. And then I saw Rick Valenti's post. I'm like, oh no, there's another one. And then everyone started posting it. And then I just did a Google search on Wikipedia, which I know is not infallible because apparently anybody can go in there and change things. They had him being dead. He had died that day. I'm like, oh no. So I did a live video. And in the middle of the video, people are saying, you're the worst journalist ever. You didn't check your facts. He's still alive. I'm like, huh. So I took the video down. And then I went to this video that he has a business partner, Russian gentleman named Spasi, who has made an awful lot of money off Robbie. I'm assuming he gives a lot of that money to Robbie. I hope so.
Yeah.
And he had him on immediately. It was like, huh, that was quick. And the odd thing about it was, he said, so Robbie, you're alive? And Robbie goes, I'm alive and well, and I can't wait for everyone to take part in our master's bodybuilding class. He immediately went into a sales pitch for this masterclass video series that Spasi and Robbie are collaborating on and selling for $150. And they talked about that for 2 more minutes, and then they got back around to the death. If I was, you know, I guess maybe Robbie's been falsely reported to be dead past, so it's not as big. That would be a big deal, a talking point for me. I'd be like, I can't believe people thought I was, you know, he didn't seem bothered by it at all. And just the fact that this guy who happens to be, you know, I always look at motive. I think I would have been a good homicide detective. Who had a motive to start the death rumor? And I'm not accusing him of that, but I'm saying he had a motive to do it. Robbie or Spas, and either or both of those guys certainly had a financial motive, because who was talking about Robby Robinson until Saturday? You know?
Or why didn't Robbie, once he heard that, he had to hear it, it's all over. Why didn't he come out himself and say something?
Yeah.
You know, why this guy had to reach out to him, I don't know. I think you nailed it on the head, Ron, when you were saying that.
You're right. He's got Instagram. You know, he's 78 years old, but he knows how
That's
to
like
use
somebody
it.
saying I'm dead and I freaking see it. I'm like, hey, I'm not dead. I'm right here, bro.
Right. So,
I'm trying to find that freaking video where that guy was talking about, or who was interviewing Robbie.
yeah.
It was like a 2-minute video, and he's like, so you're alive, Robbie? And he's like, yeah, man. You know what? I got my master's class coming up. And what?
Yeah, if you go to YouTube, Matt, go to YouTube. It's capital SPASE is the name of his YouTube channel.
SPASE.
Yeah, and this top viewed videos, the ones that all have like 500,000 or more views, they're all with Robbie in them.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah, it just seemed awfully convenient. That's all. And the whole the fact that they launched right into a sales pitch, it just, I don't know.
Okay, so
here we go.
How you doing? Are you alive?
I'm alive. I'm in awesome shape. I'm looking forward to working with other people that come to my master's class. I want my master's
2
class
seconds.
Full of people that really want.
We don't even need to go any further than that.
Yeah.
It's
almost as if he was ready to start talking about it before the video even began. You know, it's.
No, not a big deal. Like, oh my God, my family was so worried about me. All these people were
show that
messaging
you're
me.
upset.
Right. He didn't seem bothered at all.
Come on, Robbie. Did you just try and troll everybody to get everyone to go to your master's class, buddy? Is that what you were doing, Robbie? Is that what it is? Is that what it takes to get noticed? Come on, Robby Robinson. That's too obvious. That's too obvious. 2 seconds into the video with this guy, you're talking about your master's class, which is great. Everyone go check out the master's class, but don't fake your death.
Yeah. I mean, we all need money, but come on now.
What are your family and friends that care about you?
And I mean, Spasi blasted me in the comment section under the video. Let me read real quick what he said to me, because you know what gaslighting is, of course.
Yes.
So his comment was, "Come on, Ron, seriously, you know better that Sean Ray doesn't communicate with Robbie," because I said Sean was the one that reached out supposedly to say that. Anyway, he said, "You and everyone else that started reporting this fake news should be ashamed, because none of you didn't get Robbie on the phone." Well, I don't have his number, and I don't know who has his number. Yeah. Instead, you all jumped on spreading the rumor so you can get views, likes, and shares, and you're still making views about it. That's sad, bro. First of all, I took down the video about the death, so what meager views I had on that, they're gone. Any ad money I made, it's gone. I didn't make a cent off that. And yeah, I am going to report on it. So it was actually Kevin Gretsch from Evolution of Bodybuilding. I'm not that bright to come up with this conspiracy theory. I wish I was. He's the one that did an article that same day asking if it was a publicity stunt. And I said, looking at the evidence here, it sure seems like a very plausible scenario. So I'm going to do a video, and I did. And you know what? We'll never know. They're never, if it was a stunt and it was a hoax, they're never going to own up to it. But God bless Robbie. I'm glad he's still alive.
Yes,
that's it.
Legend. Respect, of course. Yeah. But I asked Sean Ray because I put a post up on Instagram, and then Ron, you're like, man, I don't think he's dead. And so I took it down like 3 seconds later because Ron was right on it. Like I tagged you in it, and so thank God because I saw Lee Priest post it. I'm like, oh, this okay. Fuck, everyone's posting this. I'm sad, man. He passed away. I'm gonna pay tribute and make a post.
Right.
And then I asked Sean Ray, I was like, who started this rumor? And he said Wayne D'Amelio. What? And so I was looking for Wayne D'Amelia's account, and I'm like, I can't find anything where.
Why would Wayne do it?
Yeah, but that's what Sean said was Wayne D'Amelio. I'm like, okay, wow. I didn't really question it. I was like, okay. I tried to find Wayne's account. I couldn't find anything, so I don't know where Sean's getting that from. Maybe he's joking.
I was
but I don't know why.
If you want it.
Yeah, we should talk to Wayne. We should get Wayne on, man. If you can get Wayne on, get him on.
Okay. Wow.
But yeah, so I this strange things happening in the bodybuilding world, man, where I feel like that's what it was. We don't mean to be mean or harsh or anything like that, because if does anyone know where it originated from?
That's the
crazy thing.
Adds another whole level. Like, why would Wayne's not a random person. Wayne actually promoted the Night of Champions for many years, which Robbie was the winner of the first 2 Night of Champions, 78 and 79. And I'm sure they've had bad blood because Wayne and the athletes always had issues. But I just don't know what Wayne's motivation would be. So now I'm questioning it. Maybe it was Wayne, and these people just latched onto it because, they're talking about me. I'm all over, Robbie's a legend, but no one was talking about Robby Robinson. But then everybody I was getting messages like crazy, text messages, DMs. Everyone's like, Robbie, did you hear Robbie died? And I fell for it because he's 79 years old in May. He had sickle cell anemia his whole life. He did. Yeah. I don't think he ever did a ton of gear, but like all of us, he did some gear, which usually shortens the lifespan. So it wasn't like a shock, like, oh my God, Robbie's dead. No, I accepted it as fact. My bad.
Me too.
Who was I going to call?
Yeah. So just another crazy story happening. It's not the first time something like this happened in bodybuilding. I remember with Victor Richards, that happened with him too.
Yep.
It's like, no, guys, I'm alive. I'm here. I'm just not. I don't do social media or whatever. All right. So updates. Let's go into the Pittsburgh Pro, because this is turning into be a big show. And do you guys have any predictions? Any thoughts, feelings on how Cicherillo is looking here?
Wow.
Which is unbelievable.
Wow.
Striations in the delts.
Huh.
After surgery. I think Nick Walker, it might be a little worried, and I think
he's way ahead of Nick. He's way ahead of Martin in condition right now. Way ahead.
Yeah. Wow. And he's working with George Farr, I think. Is correct? That's what I heard.
I don't know.
Yeah. It was posted somewhere on that I don't know if the RX or somewhere, but
I know he left his coach after his Olympia appearance, several months after that.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I believe it when I see it in person. Man.
Yeah, because
I can look at his pictures, and like I said, there's a lot of filtering going on. At least when I know, I look at Nick and look at Martin. There's no filter there. You know what I'm saying? No. And I already know Martin always comes in shape, so that's not an issue. The only issue I think could possibly happen is, like, I know they're playing. I heard they're trying to possibly play like a different style with Nick, not get him in too much conditioning in the beginning. Which, as we saw with Derek, you get in conditioning or in shape too soon, you eat up some muscle as you get in. So, but the thing is, this guy that Nick has, this is first time have to teach him into, a big show like the Pittsburgh. Is he going to be able to reel that in when Nick is known to be already in conditioning at this point? Really good conditioning. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Now you got good Vito. Good Vito is no joke either. Cicherillo is looking fantastic.
Looks good.
Yeah, I still think it's probably going to come down to Nick and Martin, in all likelihood, for the win.
I just think anything's going to happen, and I think Nick is really obviously he has to have it. Like he can't. If he loses this show, that's saying something. The judges are projecting something to him where they prefer Martin's physique over his, and there's a chance that good Vito could beat Nick Walker. And it's just like at that stage, if you can't beat good Vito and stay ahead of Martin Fitzwater, then what's the point? What's the point of going to the Olympia if Martin's going to be at the Olympia and good Vito's going to be at the Olympia if he qualifies later? That's just kind of like my structures, and it's not like his conditioning is an issue for Nick really ever. It's just
You're breaking up.
Yeah, can't really hear you.
Am I breaking up or let me stop?
I think.
There, am I back?
Yeah, you're good now.
Yeah. So yeah, with Nick, what I was saying is, if he can't beat Martin Fitzwater and he can't beat, let's say, Good Vito edges him out for some reason, or Crizzo, like, does Nick give up? Does he just like, if I can't beat these guys at a pro show, how am I going to get ahead of them at the Olympia?
I got to give Nick a little bit more. I don't think. I think it's going to still come down to Nick and Martin. I just truly believe it. I don't think Nick is going to. He has to come in shape, but I think he's going to do that. The video that he made, Nick is, and listen, Nick loves when people deny him or shit on him. It makes the guy work harder. So probably I should talk some shit on Nick so he gets more pissed and work even harder. I'm not going to do that because I'm good friends with him. He responds to this, and he said it in his video. So he's like, keep on coming. I'm loving it. So I truly believe nothing against Good Vito. Good Vito did push Martin, but Martin put on 20 pounds of muscle in a short period of time. So now Martin is even bigger than he was at the Olympia. He brings in condition with the extra size and density, which he has to stand next to Nick Walker. You know what I'm saying? Good Vito, to me, he's big. He's very muscular. He's very dense. But the flow and structure, I just don't know. I just think it's going to be a Martin and Nick Walker show. And then it's going to be between Vito and what's his name? Crizzo. I think it's going to be between them two. And if Crizzo comes in shape because of his height and his structure, he could also, take out that gentleman as well. So I don't know. It's going to be a good battle. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Like, Nick looks like a freaking Jesus.
He's big,
he went straight back to being a mutant. And he has to play that game. He has to come in, be super big, and just be completely peeled. And it's going to be tough to beat Nick if he brings in the old Nick that brought him the name he has. So,
yeah. I just this is gonna be a hard one to predict. I kind of want to predict Nick to win the Pittsburgh Pro, but based on what the judges have been,
for a little.
I will wait. It's not. We got some time still.
I think he's got the most motivation to win out of anybody because he's lost a lot of credibility and respect among a lot of the fans for dropping out of two. Well, the first one he didn't drop out; he was injured, but he missed 2 Olympias. People are already starting to forget about him and write him off. And a really solid win here would put him right back on the map where he wants to be.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I don't know if all this kind of controversy with Nick is going to cause him problems. I don't know if the judges are, if, again, they have to take their bias out of it or whatever they see on social media out of it. But is there a narrative happening here? Are they pissed off that Nick 10 days before the Olympia just said, I'm out of here, Mr. Olympia. I'm not coming because I don't feel well. I don't feel like competing now. So I'm just going to drop out. I don't know. If I'm the promoter, I'm pissed. If I'm Tarek El Gundy, I'm pissed. And that could have really left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths at the Olympia.
Well, you gotta look at. I think I think Nick was on the phone with all of them. I don't think it. I don't truly. I mean, we'll see in this show when it
Yeah.
comes up, but I don't think that's the case. I think that they got the real justified reason why he did not compete. We can't just go by what we hear on social media or from the video that he made with Matt Jensen. I think that they know the true story. And I really believe in my heart of hearts that they said, listen, okay, we're going to let this go this one time, but this is your last opportunity. Something of that nature. So I think he knows in his hearts of hearts, he has to show up and show out this year. He knows it. I think he really do know it. So I don't think I don't even think Tyler even sits and watches stuff. You know what I mean? Even the reason why I believe that's true is because when all that stuff was going down with me and Bob, and then, I emailed Tyler.
Yeah.
And he sent me back the facts in email with pictures, and he basically told me he chooses not to. He said he has a Facebook. He's never been on there since I think freaking God knows, 2022, 2021. So I don't think he has the time to listen to this mess. Now, granted, some people may say, hey, did you hear whatever, but I don't think they really get caught up with all this nonsense and then try to display it. What you bring up on that stage, I truly believe that's what they judge. And if you bring it, you're going to get placed right where you need to be. We just saw that in Arnold's. We just watched. So if you bring it, you're going to win. If you don't, you're going to reap the consequences.
I believe that. Ron, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the judges would let any past things, issues like him dropping on Olympia, bias the way they're going to compare him at the show or judge him at the show. Yeah. If he deserves to win, he's going to win. It's going to be tough. Vito's very good. Martin's very good. Crizo's very good. Nick's going to have to be the Nick that we remember from winning the Arnold Classic and taking third at the Olympia. That Nick Walker could easily win this show. I think not easily, but could decisively win. But if no one's they won't cut him any slack. Put it that way. If he's off or he's flat, he's not going to win.
Can't forget about this man. Now,
42 years old.
He's in the Detroit Pro, and he's good on Bonac, man. Like he's doing the Detroit, he's doing Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's doing. I think it's his final farewell tour. I mean, maybe not. I don't know if he keeps I think Phil said this great on the Color Cast. He said, if you're doesn't matter if you're 45 or whatever, you're still placing top 5 in pro shows or winning pro shows. There's no reason for you to retire.
Yeah.
And I was like, that makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense. You're at the top pinnacle of your career. If you're able to still place top 5 in pro shows and be in the awards picture, you're still in the mix. You're still getting the recognition. Why retire? Same thing for Brandon Curry. Why retire? You're placing top 4 at the Olympia. And not last year's Olympia, but placed top 4 at the Arnold this year, 2025, still in it.
Yep.
With standing next to Olympians. And Olympia himself. So it's like, yeah, man, this whole retiring thing. No. If you're in the top 4, top 5, don't retire. There's no need. Get the paycheck, keep the sponsorships. You're getting paid. It's a full-time thing for you. There's no reason to retire. If you're healthy, everything looks good. Like look at Bonac. This is crazy. So is there a chance that Bonac could beat Martin Fitzwater? He didn't beat him at the Olympia, so probably not, but could he beat Nick Walker? No,
I don't believe so.
These guys are in their prime, and William's still holding on. William and Curry still look very, very good, but they're not in their prime anymore. This Bonac looks very good. The Bonac that was taken second at the Olympia, winning the Arnold Classic twice, won the Boston Pro. That was a little better version of this. Whereas Martin's getting better all the time. Nick's still young. Nick should still be improving as well.
Yeah.
Crizo's not that old. He's bald, so maybe you think he's older. He's not that old either. No. I think he's only like 31, 32.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, man. Yeah. When you put Bonac next to Nick, no. I think Nick, you got to look pose for pose. You really got to break it down. What poses is he going to beat him in, and et cetera. And I just don't. I can't see it for
But I
majority
think
of
he'll
pros.
pull out the Detroit Pro, though. I think he should pull that out. Pull that.
I don't know who's. I know Ron, the tall black guy, Ron Gordon. He's training with Chris Lewis. Remember that guy? He did Detroit Pro last year. Tall
Yeah,
black guy.
Ron Gordon. Yeah.
Ron Gordon. He's doing it again. Other than that, I'm just doesn't seem to be anyone else at this moment doing the Detroit Pro show. Why? Why?
Yeah, I don't even think Gordon would beat Bonac.
No, I don't think so.
No. I
Unless
think
we
that's
see
what I'm
some
saying.
bigger. This might be, I saw a lot of people talking about these shots and him in the Detroit Pro. And listen, we don't know everybody that's in it, but right now, obviously, clearly, he's the front runner for that show.
Yes, Bonac is. Detroit Pro's March 29th.
Yeah, who else? What other big
Who's
names
doing-
doing? I haven't heard of anybody.
No, I mean, this is bad. I mean, I don't want to say the name of FEUD. I'm going to leave it there. But I don't know why he can't get more of these guys to come compete in the show. He has the best. I will give FEUD one thing. The lighting at that show is very good.
Yeah.
Okay. Like he worked hard on getting the lighting and the black backdrop, right? Like the old school way. It's good. Why not get on that stage and take advantage of that lighting and that I think the prize money's higher than a lot of the other ones. So why don't people go compete? Is it the timing? Could be the timing. I don't know.
Got to be, because I mean, there's just seven guys showed up last year for it. I think
It wasn't a deep. Yeah.
it is a weird time because it's right in between the Arnold and this Pittsburgh. A lot of them want to do Pittsburgh. It's big money. It's Jim Andy's hometown. Of course, you want to win the first Detroit, be their first Pittsburgh Pro winner.
Yeah.
So yeah,
so
I
look at that.
can't imagine it's anything else, but the timing just doesn't fit for most guys.
Because the 29th, he's getting it in there, and then you got the Arnold Sports Festival South America. Now, is anyone even doing that one? I don't know if that's even open or if it's just like 212 and Classic or something.
Did y'all hear? I think Derek. I think Phil. Color. It was on Color Cat. I think Derek is doing another show.
Thank you for reminding that.
Yeah, he's doing another show, and I don't think it's a really good idea. But
no,
I call this too because I said in the beginning of the year, I think it's going to be Pittsburgh. He hasn't announced it, but he did say he said he was doing a couple of shows this year. And I saw in the Cutler cast, manager Mike did say he's doing another show, but they didn't say which show, but it only makes sense. It would be the Pittsburgh Pro. If he did that, that's a big shakeup.
Sorry,
there's your winner.
I mean,
he's still in shape. So this is going to be a big shakeup. If that's the case, then I think Nick and Martin, they need to be worried.
It's $100,000 first place prize. There's the expo. That's the show he's going to do. What other shows?
What I believe.
Yeah. Needs to work on his back, though.
Yeah, it's a little more, Derek. A little. You got to work on that. You need more detail. You need more thickness in that back, Derek.
Jeez.
But like Phil said, I don't think it's a good idea that Derek does another show. Well, you're going to burn yourself out, brother.
Yeah, I mean,
you got to,
you want that Olympia title.
What's your guy's advice?
He's not going to listen to us.
Do you think you should do another show?
He might listen to Phil.
Yeah, like what's...
when I was talking to him at the posing clinic, there's something different about Derek in a good way. There's just something in his eyes. On a business standpoint, I would say it's not a good idea. But what I see in Derek's eyes, he has more to prove, and I think he wants to make a big, big statement. Because of course, you got Martin that took fourth in the Olympia, so Martin is climbing up. Okay, so I can see the reason why for him he would do it. If he does do it, I think that we're going to see probably the same, if not a tad, 2% better what we saw to Arnold. And if that's the case, look at remember, we got to look at his boy last year. Did both Arnold and UK and won, right? Derek is like, well, if he could do it. then I can do it.
Oh, yeah.
And if I pull
Okay, I
this
see what you're
off, which I
saying.
believe he would, oh my God, the sky is the limit going into the Olympia now, because now Samson is going to be like, holy crap. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's a good idea, but what I saw in Derek's eyes, it's a good idea for him.
It's a good idea, money business wise, yes. But look at what Hottie did. Did 2 Arnolds, burnt out for Olympia. Wasn't he was good? It was a good Hottie, but it wasn't the Arnold. Everyone's like, look, he looked so good at the Arnold. He didn't bring that Arnold Hottie look.
I mean,
I
look,
think it's a bad omen. It's a bad omen. These guys do these multiple shows, and then they get to the Olympia. And for Samson, it worked. He did a couple shows and then did the Olympia and won because Hottie was off because he maybe burned himself out from doing 2 Arnolds back to back. And then, but Derek didn't. Derek just something went wrong with his coach. I don't know what happened there. You know, he had a whole year to get ready for the show, and so there's no excuses. But for him to do the Olympia, then 4 months later the Arnold, then in May do the Pittsburgh, I think it's too much.
It's a lot of prep. It's a lot of prep.
There's no downtime really. I mean, maybe after the Pittsburgh there'd be downtime time, but
Not much.
you got to
Well,
still get a
probably
little
he's
bit
trying
bigger.
to see, hey, if me and Chris nailed this, let's see. I can see his logic behind it. Let's see if we can nail it again before we go to the Olympia to really see if that antidote that they came into this show works. I can see that it's more of a testing waters to really see what he could bring. I mean, I don't think he has to be better than Arnold to win the Pittsburgh. I don't think he has to. I think he could bring in the same package and still win the Pittsburgh. No disrespect to nobody else with that same package. If I had a new coach, I probably would do the same thing he's doing to just make sure we don't screw this up going into the Olympia. Now, I know in the past with me, more shows I got better doing more. I never really got the word burnt out is if you're abusing gear is where you're going to get burnt out. I think if you're smart with your training and smart with your nutrition and smart with your resting, you can't get burnt out if you're smart with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's going to hinder him going into the Olympia. I think the longer he rests and his mind tends to now relax, because right now he's in the zone, I think that may cause him not to do well in the Olympia. So I think it's a good move, man. I don't believe in the burnt out thing unless you overtrain, and that's the key. It all comes down to what's his philosophy going into this show. But then you got to look, Jim Mannion and all those guys gave him a phone call. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. They want their show to be top notch.
Yeah.
So they're making the phone calls.
Yeah. But if you slip up, Derek, at the Pittsburgh Pro and something's off, you got lucky. Maybe it was just perfect. It worked with Tuxedo at the Arnold, and you looked really good. You come into Pittsburgh, your body's just not firing. The receptors aren't firing, and it's not. And then Martin beats you, and you come in, and Nick beats you, come in third.
Yeah.
All your momentum is gone for the Olympia, unfortunately. That's a huge gamble. You got $500,000. You're the top dog going into the Olympia now. You want to go do a pro show. I get it. The Pittsburgh Pro is going to be an amazing show. But are you going to take now you can say this too, and other people said it. Are you going to take an Olympia qualification spot away from Nick or Martin?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Right? Like, but you can do that, no problem. I wouldn't be against him doing that, but that's what's going to technically happen if he does go and win. Right? And that's one less top guy that has a chance to get there, like a good Vito or Nick or Martin, because now they got to go do New York Pro, right? They got to extend their preps, and then only one of them is going to win New York Pro. So if good Vito doesn't get it, then he's got to go to another one, and then maybe something happens and it doesn't end up in the Olympia stage. So it's a trickle down effect once someone steps in that path and blocks you from getting to the Olympia. So I don't know. Yeah, we're going to see what happens there. I do not think it's a good idea. I'm going on the record for Derek to do the Pittsburgh Pro, but he's a businessman. You can go get $100,000 check. Might be pretty easy for him to do it. Maybe he feels confident with the CETO. Go get the check. just don't burn yourself out, brother, because we want to see a good battle on the stage, not a burnt out Derek Lunsford with the legs look downsized because just couldn't bring it back together. So we're gonna see what happens there. But yeah, that's my take on Derek doing the Pittsburgh Pro. Before we wrap it up here, guys, this travel ban. Do you think? Now, I think the travel ban's already is still in place for Iran, but because this is a little concerning for Hadi Shupam, because I think Trump's going to make an announcement with the new rules with the travel ban, and you have the red, the orange, and the yellow. Obviously, we see Iran is on the red list, which is the most restricted list to be on for countries. And Phil, you said you did a little bit of reading up on this. What's your take on this? Do you think this could
I
affect?
think everybody's getting a little concerned, but it's not going to affect Hadi Shupam. Once you already have a business relationship with the United States, which he does, I mean, he's still with Evogen, right?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they're still going to help him get here. And he already been here how many times? So for those that never been here, which I really feel bad for Milos' guy.
Beirut Sabani.
Yes, I don't think it's going to be possible with this going into effect. But I don't think it's going to. Anybody that was already coming to the United States and have business, like coming here for work or so forth and so on, they're going to be fine. For people that's been applying and hoping to get in, I don't think they're going to be fine. But I think the Hadi's going to be fine coming back.
Yeah, I hope so. That would suck if Hadi Shupam couldn't make it because of this stupid ban. I don't know. I'm not getting into politics of it, but I don't know.
It sucks that Beirut probably Beirut won't be able to get in. He's qualified, I think, the last 3 years in a row for the Olympia. He's won several shows, and he just can't get his ass. He can't get a visa.
Man.
Well, he's definitely not going to get it now, sadly to say. But
that's just a proposal. That's got to go through Congress and everything. It's just it's like Trump's wish list, basically.
Who the hell is that?
Look at that! Look at that! Wow.
Beirut.
That's the problem, man. This guy was able to come to the Olympia, the shakeup. It's so that's the sad part. I mean, I don't know the guy personally, so I don't know what goes on in his life. And I heard he was part of the armed forces and all that way back when. But I don't know him. He just seems like a very nice guy, and it feels so bad that he gets to these shows and he kills it, and then he can't come to the Olympics of bodybuilding to really shake everything up, and because I know he'll do well. That's the sad part about it.
Yeah, conditioning. The conditioning that guy brings is insane. Look at that back-to-back shot. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. I think he'd be top 6 at the Olympia. I think he would have been top 6 last year at the Olympia.
Yeah, yes,
physique. So that sucks. I think he could beat Nick Walker. To be honest,
he's capable. He's capable.
All right, guys, it's around an hour. Yeah, Nick. I don't know, man. Like I said, this is gonna be Nick's make or break.
Yeah, it is. It's make and break show. He knows.
Andrew Jack is doing another show.
He probably gonna do freaking Texas, man.
Yeah.
No, I heard what it was. The FEBO show. He's doing FEBO.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So should win that.
Andrew Jack. Andrew's doing the FEBO?
Yes.
Is that what you... Okay, am I cutting out? Okay, yeah. FEBO, so that's Sergio, Andrew Jack. I'm not sure. Or is Martin's doing it?
Is he?
Is Martin still doing FEBO?
He said he was doing it, but I think if Martin wins, if Martin pulls out of Pittsburgh, I think he's going to shut it down. I don't think he's going to keep going.
FEBO's before Pittsburgh, I think.
Is it?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't see it, because if let's say he did that, right, and possibly don't win, and now you got to peak again to go into pit. I don't think that's a smart move, but I'm not his.
FEBO.
Coaches love to pick these shows for these guys. These guys got to think of their own strategies when picking shows.
Yeah, FEBO is April 11th. Pittsburgh is May 11th.
Yeah.
So you got 4 weeks. So
Yeah.
he could
Yeah.
potentially do it, but why? Like I don't know why. I don't know why he committed to FIBO, but
I can't see Martin jumping over there for that.
all the way to Germany, you got to like that's tough on your body.
Hmm.
So we'll see. But yeah, that's cool. If Andrew Jackson's doing that's easy. Again, that's the one another thing I said. Andrew should jump into. We were alluding to this earlier. Don't jump into these easy shows because when you get to the Olympia, then you end up getting beat by guys like Martin or something because you couldn't take him out at the Pittsburgh Pro. The judges didn't get a nice look. That's who you're up against right now, really. Is like Andrew's in that 4th, 5th spot at the Olympia, and he's going to these shows where he's not getting up next to these guys. He got next to Hunter at the Texas Pro, but that was it, right? And so it's just like, go to these big shows, Andrew. Don't skip out and go to FIBO where there's one dude in there, and then that's it, and you get your easy win, and then you're not really getting tested. You're not getting pushed. So
He's already qualified anyway.
qualify for not for the Olympia.
Not for the Olympia.
Martin, we're talking about Martin, right?
Oh,
No,
we're
sorry,
talking about Andrew
Andrew.
Jack.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
Andrew. Yeah, Andrew
yeah.
still needs his qualification. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Martin's going into a big show. He's testing it. He's going right for it. He's battling with all the top guys at the Pittsburgh Pro. But I'm saying Andrew, like he just can't. He keeps skipping these big shows, and he goes to like he did Texas, and he was up against Hunter. That was it. Now if he goes to FIBO, it's just going to be up against Sergio, which is okay.
Didn't you have Psycho Lewis said that he's still
Yes.
working a full-time job, so he's picking these shows based on his schedule.
There you go.
so-
Sorry. Good. Thank you for
I
bringing
watched.
that up. There you go. There you go. So yeah, see, I forget these things. Yes, good point, Phil. That again, maybe it is to do with his full-time job as an engineer, which is insane. That no, at the first time I'm hearing that, and everyone is in the comments like, I can't believe he's an engineer. Why? Like, he just doesn't talk to anyone about it. It doesn't say. I mean, well, I guess he says, what's the point? I don't need to tell people what I do for my full-time job. But that's tough. Like engineer, you're super smart for one, really good money. So that's why he's not giving that job up because, it's good pay. So, yeah, that's pretty cool that Andrew Jackson is an engineer full-time and one of the top IPP pros in the world. So kudos to Andrew Jack. And maybe that's why he's
kudos
doing the
to
FIBO.
Andrew Jack.
And it's a quicker flight from Dubai to FIBO versus from all the way back here. So, all right, guys, we'll wrap it up there. We hit our hour, man. Thanks again. Another Monday night with all the updates and all the craziness and the fake death hoaxes and whatever else, Bob. And we'll see what happens next week. So
Next week.
Never a dull moment.
never a dull moment.
All right, guys.
Okay,
All right,
guys.
guys.
I'll talk to you
Appreciate it.
soon.
Thanks.
All right.
See you
Have a
next
nice night. Bye-bye.
See you. Peace.